times they genuinely can get a better deal, but a lot of times they can't. Now, I tell you what I'll do. I'll go over each item that you've been quoted by this other company or the other deal you think you can get. In other words, I could do an apple-to-apples comparison. And if everything is equal, and I'll see if I can do even better than that. Now, if I can, you'll get an even better deal with me, and if I can't, I'll tell you so. But either way, you're going to win here. Now, do you have that other quote in front of you? Great. Go ahead and email that to me, and I'll go to work on it for you right now. Now, I'm going to wait while you write this script down. A couple of things here. Did you notice that when I read it, it didn't sound like I was reading it? That's the key to using good scripts. It shouldn't sound canned. In other words, you should be able to use pausing and inflection to make it sound natural. But let me tell you the true genius of this technique and this script. What this script allows you to do is to, number one, not argue with your prospect. In fact, you're even saying in the script, I'll tell you what, let me do a comparison of exactly what we're offering you and what you're being offered by this other company. And hey, if I find that you're truly getting a better deal, I'll be the first one to tell you that. And if I find that I can match it or give you an even better deal, then I'll do that for you as well. But either way, you're going to win here. Do you have that quote handy, or can you email that over to me? The beautiful thing about this script and this technique is you're putting the prospect first. And remember, this is how he or she feels when they're shopping online, when they're comparing your product or service to all the other options out there. All they really want is the best deal. They want the best case scenario for them. And what you're doing using this script is you're saying, hey, I'm going to make sure you get that best case scenario. I'm going to look at your very best deal and compare it to what I've got, and either give you an even better deal or let you know that you're getting the best possible. So it's in their best interest to send you their quote or their deal. They'll many, and I've used this over and over again, many times they're more than willing to play you off the competition. And now you've reopened the close. You get to see exactly what it is they have, and you can either point out how your deal is completely different, or they're not getting exactly what you're offering, or it'll give you an opportunity to add value or add services or add other things to your deal to make yours the best overall. If you're in a quoting situation, if you're dealing with this objection at all, this is the best way that you'll have to go through and win the opportunity to win that deal by using this script. Now, this again works because you're agreeing with them, aren't you? Hey, you're agreeing. Maybe you do have a better offer. You're also offering to beat the so-called deal that they have, and once again, you're guaranteeing them the best overall deal and value, and here's the key, without pressuring them. So this is even a mild takeaway at the end. Believe me, use this script. It'll change the way you handle this objection. More importantly, it'll give you the control back over this objection, put you in the driver's seat, and allow you to close the deal. Okay, let's start with the other one. This is how to build real value. And before I go into that, I just want to talk about building real value here for a moment. You probably heard over and over again how important it is to build value, right? Your managers probably tell you that all the time, right? Don't deal with price, build value, build value. Talk about the services, talk about the warranty, talk about the follow-up care, talk about the company, talk about, right, build value. Hey, I've heard build value until I'm blue in the face, but here's the deal. Not many people talk about the most valuable part of your sale, your product, or your company, and guess what that is? That's you. You are the most valuable part of your product or service. In fact, you are the most valuable part of this transaction. And we're going to talk a little bit here in a minute about how people buy you. You've heard that over and over again. So the most important way to build value here is to stress and your participation in this company. Here's what I like to say. If I need to build value in my product, or if somebody is talking about another product or another company or another opportunity to buy, I say, you know what, John, I'm aware of all the other options for this insurance product, and I'll tell you now, if I thought that any of those other companies or products were better for my clients, I'd be working there and I'd be selling them. You see, when I got into this industry, I did my own research, and I looked for the best company that not only offered a superior product or service, whatever it is you're selling, but also delivered the best customer service and follow-up. I chose your company because they give my clients the best overall value and the best experience, and that means they continue to do business with me and refer business to me as well. Here's the second part. Don't worry, I'll go back. Now, I'll tell you now, if there was a better product or company for you to be doing business with, I'd be there, and we'd be talking about that today, but there isn't. Bottom line, John, if you want the best overall value, results, and experience with your product or service, then do what I did. Choose your company. You'll always be glad you did. Now, would you like to start with the X size order, or would you like the Y size order, or better? I'm going to go ahead and go back here to let you write this down because I know people are writing. And I want to break this close down here for just a moment, but I want to start with a little story. I was talking to a sales rep a few months ago, and she was telling me about a prospect she was working with who gave her this very same objection. The prospect talked about how the competition, right, had a better offer for him. And she was on the phone talking with him, and he was talking about this other company, and she was talking to him. And she finally realized, in fact, she finally asked him, she said, John, you know, and by the way, she closed this client overall, and then she asked him at the end, she said, John, just out of curiosity, you know, you were talking about how this other company had a better, you know, a better price or a better offer or whatever. She said, just out of curiosity, why did you pick me? And he said, well, you know, I picked you because I like talking to you better than the other rep. Now, that may seem like a small thing, but I've got news for you. You do this in your own lives as well. You buy from the person you feel the most comfortable with, don't you? Right? If everything is just about even, you're going to buy from the person you like the most. And that's what this script does. It says, hey, John, let me tell you something. There are a lot of, you know, I know that there are other insurance companies, other widget companies, other whatever companies. And I'll tell you now, if I thought any of them were better for my clients, I'd be working there and selling them. In fact, when I got into this industry, I did just what you're doing, and that's research, right? And I looked at all the companies out there. And not only did I look for the best company that offered the best product, but more importantly, I looked for the company that also delivered what is also important to my customers and to me, and I'm sure to you too, and that's things like customer service and follow-up. And I'll tell you now, I chose my company, XYZ, because they give my clients the best overall value and the best experience. And guess what that means? It means they continue to do business with me. And something that's very important in all businesses, they refer new business to me as well. Now, I'll tell you now, John, if there was a better product or company for you to be doing business with, I'd be there. We'd be talking about that today, but there isn't. Bottom line, if you want the best overall value, the best results, the best overall experience with this product or service year in and year out, then do what I did. Choose your company. You'll always be glad you did. Now, I've got this here. I've got the starter package we talked about, 10 units, or would you like to take that larger order instead? And again, the beautiful thing about this script is not only are you building value in you, but you're also giving them a different type of close. You're giving them the either or. Let me tell you why this works. Again, people buy you. There are even books written out there. In fact, one by my favorite author, Jeb Blunt, he says, hey, he wrote a book called People Buy You. Of course they do. You know that. And when you stress value, when you build value in the most important part of any product or service or company, and that's you, then you're building value in the thing that differentiates you from every other option your prospect has. Your prospect can only buy from you. You've chosen this company, and they'd be smart to do it too. You're also showing your belief in your product and your company. So in other words, and I'll tell you right now, a lot of people buy your enthusiasm and your belief in your product and service as much as they're buying your product and service. In fact, I often say, hey, when you're on the phone with somebody, it's all about a transfer of emotion. Somebody is sold during a conversation. Either you're selling them or they're selling you. And the other nice thing about this close is you are not dropping the price. Instead, you're building real value in what it is you're selling. And again, real value means value in you. This is a crucial close. Now, let's talk about if somebody tells you they can get it for less expensive somewhere else. I love this close. This is perhaps still one of my all-time favorite closes. If somebody ever tells me they can get it for less money, get your pens out. Here's what I always say. Hey, John, you know, you can always get, again, your product or service for less money. Heck, we could do a Google search right now, and I'll bet that we could come up with a few different options that are even cheaper than what you're telling me you can get it for now. Question is, why aren't you going with them? Isn't it because there comes a time when price isn't as important as the loss in quality, service, and results? And that's why our clients keep doing business with us. When you begin getting and then talk about the results of your product or service, you'll also understand why our price is worth the value and the results that you get with us. Hey, you can always get it cheaper, but you can't get our results that will literally pay for themselves over and over again. Let's do this and then suggest starting with whatever package you talked about in the beginning. I'm going to back this up so some of you can write this down. Again, the beautiful thing about this close is, number one, they're telling you they can get it cheaper. Hey, it doesn't matter. We can do a Google search and write down. I'll bet we can come up with with a few different options that are even cheaper than what you're telling us you can get it for. Now, the question is, why aren't you going? Isn't it because price isn't as important as the loss in quality, service, and results? And again, that's why our clients keep doing business with us. And by the way, I threw that in there because clients always want to do business with other people who are doing business with you. That's a very, very important part of this entire close. All right? When you begin getting the results, you'll understand why our price is worth the value and the results you get with us. Hey, you can always get it cheaper, and they know that, but you can't get our results that pay for themselves over and over again. Let's do this. Let me tell you why this close works. This close works because, number one, you're calling their bluff. You're calling their bluff. In fact, you're taking it one step further. Of course, you can get it cheaper. In fact, you can get it cheaper than you're even telling me you can get it for right now. Let's do a Google search. Number two, you're building value in yourself and in your company. Remember, I can't stress this enough. People buy you. They're buying your belief in your product and service. And at the end of this close, you're asking for the deal at the end. And I'll tell you now, I could do a whole webinar on the importance of asking for the order over and over again, asking for the order over and over again. You have to keep asking for the deal. Many phone calls that I listen to, there's one tepid closing attempt, and then the prospect objects, and the person, the closer, the rep doesn't ask for the deal again. You have to keep asking for the deal at the end. Okay, now let's talk about a voicemail for people who aren't getting back from you. Get your pens out again. Hey, I don't know about you, but I'll bet that you've got a pipeline that is full of people who sounded okay or so-so on the front end. You sent out your information, your demo, or whatever, and you never get to talk to them again. They sort of disappear. You send them emails. You leave them voicemails. They never call you back. I'm gonna maintain, number one, you probably already have your answer, but here's the script that you use that will get people to get back to you. Hey, John, this is Mike Brooks again with Mr. Inside Sales. Hey, for some reason, we haven't been able to connect since I sent you that proposal, and believe me, I've been in sales long enough to know what that might mean. I'm assuming you've either found another solution or this has been put on the back burner for now. Either way, hey, that's fine. Please do me a favor, though, so that I'm not bothering you anymore. Could you please give me a quick call and just give me an update so I know what direction you're moving in? Hey, if I'm not available, just leave me a voicemail. Again, either way, it'll just be good to know what's going on. I'd like to thank you in advance for that, and I'll look for your call. You can reach me at, and then leave your number slowly, 1-800-999. Again, leave that number slowly. That number again isn't repeated. Thanks again, John. Now, let me go over this again. Hey, John, Mike Brooks calling again. For some reason, we've not been able to connect since I sent you the demo, and believe me, I've been in sales long enough to know what that might mean. And now you see what you do here is you give them a way out. I'm assuming you've either found another solution or this has been put on the back burner. Either way, that's fine. Again, it's important for you to give your prospect a way out. You have to ignore, ideal word here, quick, and tell me what direction you're moving in. And this is a key here. If I'm not available, leave me a voicemail. Many people aren't going to want to talk to you, and you're going to already tell them, hey, if I'm not available, just leave me a voicemail. This makes it easier for them to call you back, easier for them to get back to you, encourages them to do so. Again, either way, there's your subtle takeaway. Doesn't matter to me. It'll just be that unlike your competition, you are no longer desperate. You're not begging a deal. And by the way, all of that puts off your prospects. They don't want to deal with you. They don't want to hear you whine. They don't want to hear you beg. They don't want to hear the death. And they certainly don't want to be confronted. Well, what do you mean you're not doing it? They don't want any of that. That's why they're not calling you back. That's why they're not taking your call. The top 20% are strong in what they're doing. Doesn't matter if you're going to come with me or not. I just want to know. I'm sure you can appreciate that. If you found another solution, great. All the best to you. We'll catch you next time. If not, if there's been a delay and you're still interested, I'd like to know that too. Just leave me an email or leave me a message either way. This is a very, very strong close. Let you take this down for a minute. Okay, let's go to the next slide here. Winning business from your competition is easy, believe me, if you adopt and use these kinds of effective and proven scripts. Again, you absolutely have to be prepared for the selling situations you find yourselves in over and over again. I can't tell you how many sales companies and reps I deal with where the reps, even though they know what's coming, they have no idea how to handle those situations. That's what separates the top 20. Better you get at differentiating yourself from your competition, the more sales you're going to win. And you can do that by using these kinds of proven skills and scripts. Now, the good news for you is that you're going to make your job a lot easier. You're going to make a lot more money, and you're going to have a lot more fun doing it. I tell you now, sales shouldn't be hard. If you're struggling, if you feel beaten up at the end of the week, if you don't know why you're not writing business or enough business, if you're stressed, it's because you're doing something wrong. The top 20%, I'll tell you now, and you see them in your office, the top 20% are empowered. They're driving the nice cars, living the nice life. Sales is good to them. It's easy because they're doing all of these things. And I'll tell you now, if you're looking for an easy and affordable way to improve your skill set and a proven way to use them, here is an amazing offer for you today.